Hello everyone, I am Araksya Vasilyan and this is the last chapter of the book by Professor Victor Shaw entitled Substance Use and Abuse: Sociological Perspectives. Introduction. There are certain subculture-related premises that led to the substance use and abuse. First, society is a gathering place. Second, within societies, similarities in background, identity, belief, value, interest, and practice bring people together. Individuals naturally gravitate towards others who we think are the same with us. Third, people form subcultures based on these similarities. Fourth, substance use is the embodiment of this mainstream social system, in that the formed groupings are distinct from one another. Subculture perspective focuses on the inner workings of substance users both as a group and grouping. And the fact is the substance abuse subculture is adjacent to other subcultures, which I will discuss in the later part of my presentation. The interrelation between these subcultures may explain substance use and abuse. It means substance use and abuse could be the cause, collateral occurrence, or consequence of the gathering of these subcultures in effect. Sources of inspiration. The earliest perspectives on subcultures were defined by Frederick Thrasher, 1927, who developed a typology describing different types of gangs in 1927, and William White, who described the slum culture in Italy in 1943. The third, and one of the most comprehensive, is that of Albert Cohen in 1955. First, he asserted that the delinquent subculture is the byproduct of deviance learning and social strain. Second, he explained the formation of the said subculture based on the middle class measuring rod. It is basically the middle class values versus lower class values. The youths adopt the role of the corner boy, college boy, or delinquent boy as a form of reaction to their experiences. Of the three, delinquent boys form a subculture to overcome loss of self-esteem, improve sense of self-worth, and achieve status. The fourth is by Richard Cloward and Lloyd O'Hlin, 1960. They combine the theories of strain, differential association, and social disorganization to explain the emergence of various related subcultures. Cloward and O'Hlin claim that delinquent subculture is a byproduct of unequal distribution of means and opportunities. First, deviant values led to the emergence of criminal gangs for profit and material success. This is criminal subculture. Second, destructive violence led to the flourishment of conflict gangs, which is termed to as conflict subculture. Third is the failure in the conventional world, and to join the gangs led to retreat, hence the formation of the retreatist subculture. Fifth, Marvin Wolfgang and Franco Ferraculti, 1967, described violence as a way of life through associational learning. Mostly young males who later participate in violence are exposed to violence early on in life. They are born and raised in mostly lower-class urban communities, where violence is inherently integrated. Eventually, they participate in various activities, including collective brawls, where they carry tools of aggression that are also weapons of protection. Ultimately, they feel no sense of guilt or regret. Next, Walter Miller, 1958, looks into the lower class culture and how adolescents express them. He found out that gang norms are expressions based on the 6 facial points on how the youth navigate their lower class environments. These are their concerns over trouble within. There is a constant contemplation whether to stay in and out of trouble. Over toughness, where they show off personal qualities such as masculinity and physical strength. Over smartness, wherein the goal is to outsmart others. Over excitement, wherein they exhibit excitement-seeking and risk-taking behaviors. Out of boredom and tiredness. Over luck, because they generally lack control of their own fate. Finally, over autonomy, or the desire for personal freedom. To continue, there are other explanations that led to youth's substance use and abuse. Home culture as the primary source, middle-class living and thinking, experiences of marginality in family and school, and alienation when the adolescents start to view themselves as young adults. All these contribute to embracing delinquent behaviors. I prepared a keyword cloud of the subcultures created leading to substance use. These are the words used by Shaw that may help us understand substance use and abuse from the subculture perspective. Subculture formation that lead to substance use include delinquent, conflict, violence, drug, criminal, retreatist, and deviant. Of course, other subcultures are youth, workplace, and even recovery and sobriety are subcultures related to substance use and abuse. The theoretical framework of subculture perspective of substance use is that it is a collective behavior. It pertains to shared beliefs and values favoring substances and their consumption. It provides for mutual provision of ideological justification and material support. Finally, it evolves with the general social climate. For the purpose of definition, we understand culture as a way of life, which is shared and learned among people. Subculture as a shared way of life among a group of people. Substance subculture as shared by substance users in terms of supply, preparation, use, problem solving, use interactions, and user-society relations. This is where the subculture, where substance users come together to form the subculture and sustain it. Conjuring up the theoretical image of substance use from the subculture perspective, substance serves as the material base for a subculture to grow and thrive. It also acts a domain for a subculture to form and expand. For example, general users fundamentally believes in the power of substance. Substance users are drawn into a substance when they are exposed to a subculture pertaining to the substance. First, substance is omnipresently available and it enlivens, enriches, and enhances the substance-based life. Ultimately, there is a transfer of knowledge from established users to new, young, and experienced users. Substance subculture has internal structures and external relations. Under the internal structures are materials and non-material elements, whereas under the external relations, substantive exchange and interaction occurs within the general culture and with other subcultures. Under the material elements, visible material objects as essential artifacts in the substance subculture. These are primary substances: alcohol, tobacco, marijuana, heroin, etc. Raw materials: barley to brew beer, farms, factories, laboratories, and other places, stores or outlets, and equipment and tools, needles, syringes, etc. Non-material elements include knowledge, skills, techniques, beliefs, norms, and rationalizations. Knowledge are general and specific. Skills and techniques are individually held. Beliefs are essential values and POV as held. Substance as an agent of change to human experience. Norms are rules and regulations, generic and pertinent and knowledge, and morality based or both. Rationalizations are excuses, explanations, and justifications. Some external relationships are formed with other subcultures. First, the substance culture forms relationship with all possible subcultures that are close, similar, friendly, and supportive, as well as subcultures that are remote, different, hostile, and critical, irrelevant, and non-reactive. Second, the substance subculture cements a cooperative relationship with others since they are both targets of legal or moral attacks. Third, it mingles with others due to crossovers of attitudes and behaviors. Fourth, the substance subculture is drawn into relationship with others because of attention, for example, the conservatives. Finally, it is forced into relationship with others as part of jurisdiction, like the substance use researchers. When it comes to its relationship with the general culture, substance subculture borrows from and contributes to general culture through all basic cultural elements: equipment, materials, artifacts, symbols, language, techniques, beliefs, and norms. An example is how we understand why substance users need to use needle and syringe. General culture taps on the linguistic invention as subcultural characteristic and integrates into the mainstream society. For instance, how everyone understands what it means to smoke pot. Substance culture have various theoretical applications. These are the realities and matter of understanding. A substance may symbolize a subculture. A substance may form its own subculture. A substance may join other substances as part of a large substance subculture. Substance use as a culturally embedded act identifies people. Substance use transforms people. Substance use reflects social sentiments. Substance use indicates social needs. Substance use foretells social change. Substance users are group actors. Substance users are subjects of the substance subculture. Substance users are objects of the substance subculture. Substance users are collective agents for innovation and rebellion. Subculture perspective creates opportunities for empirical research. These are through case studies, historical analysis, survey and interview, experimental studies. Case studies target a member or the entire subculture to gather information on and generate insights. Historical analysis focuses on the rise and fall of the workings of the subculture and help in screening out case studies. Survey and interview confront members of the subculture on their stand on various issues based on their experiences. Experimental studies determine whether the subculture is critical in making key decisions such as initiation, habituation, and abstinence. The unique approach of the subculture perspective offers rich implications for substance policies and actions. For public health, substance users make up a cultural collective where utilization of knowledge-based prevention and morality-guided prevention is possible. The goal is to establish general attitudinal and behavioral pattern, understanding how substance users collectively respond to public health intervention. Implications extend to how health workers follow their own subcultural conventions when dealing with substance users. These workers may have long-held biases or bypass some taken for granted practices. Social control agents, like police officers, lawyers, and judges, must do everything in their power to effect effective intervention. They must rise above their own professional subculture, make case-specific decisions in the spirit of fairness, justice, and humanity, realize response to intervention as culturally based and supported, minimize misunderstanding, distrust, hostility, and confrontation, maximize education, persuasion, assistance, and tolerance, and initiate the formation of positive and constructive relationship. Substance users are part of life and part of the crowd in the community. However, society and people single out deviant groups or subcultures and assign labels, shift burdens, or throw blame on substance users. Instead, people in the community must put substance use into perspective and place the substance subculture in historical, legal, moral, political, economic, and social contexts. People must serve as a surrogate to gain their much-needed feelings of society, solidarity, belonging, and status. Work culture has proximity to substance subculture due to demanded performance, stress, hazards, and surrounding work that may encourage the use of substance. All these may encourage the use of substance, so the management must take proper actions at work. Substance use tracks back to some practices or policies in their organization. They are a spillover of a large social problem in the community. Organization must take more effective measures towards substance and substance use in work settings. Here are the things that we can conclude about the substance subculture. The subculture perspective emphasizes substance use as group-based or culturally embedded behavior. Substance is a symbol wherein usage lead to the formation of a subculture. Substance use is a subculture of its own or maybe a part of other subcultures. Substance users as the group actors. The substance subculture celebrates and sanctifies substances. The substance subculture spreads and sustains substance use because it is shared, learned, and transmitted. The substance subculture is part of the general culture. A holistic approach to substance use and abuse must consider the socio-cultural underpinning.